What a day. What a day. Father's Day 2026. Our annual trip to Ace Adventure. Something I think that Brady and I both look forward to every year. And this place will forever represent, to me, Father's Day. Because this is basically the one time every year that we come. And I feel like every time I come here, it's an opportunity for me to reflect on being a father and what being a father means to me, what being a father has taught me. And you know, being a father is awesome. It's the greatest job in the world. But it is not always an easy job. I feel like maybe somebody else out there can relate to this. Maybe a lot of people can relate to this. But I think I've found myself when my son was younger, wanting to have a best friend for life. And I feel like I have a best friend for life. But, you know, as I'm starting to get a little bit older and he's starting to get a little bit older, I'm realizing that it's more than that. And that it's a special type of friendship. And sometimes you can't really be a friend. So I'm kind of beginning to realize that I'm also above being a friend, at least right now, at this point in our journey. I need to be a coach. I need to be a teacher. And I need to be the best head football coach there can be, the best math and science teacher there can be, the best professor that he could ever have in college, because this is real life stuff. You know? Maybe you can relate to this as well, but my son just finished 6th grade, and I gotta be honest, man, sometimes he's a pain in the butt, you know? Sometimes I just wanna, like, dude, stop it, right? Stop it. Come on, what happened to that cute kid? That kind kid, that lovable kid that I remember so deeply. You know, where did he go? What's with all this back talk and suddenly I don't know anything and you know everything? What's that all about, you know? And so I'm finding that, all right, remember. He's going through some things right now. He's changing, right? And that's how it's supposed to be. So it's not a bad thing. And you got to remember that. You have to keep that in mind. You know, but above all, I have to remember that I have got to be the stable head coach, the stable teacher who doesn't waver, you know, whose baseline is always the same. And by doing that in itself, I'm being a coach and I'm being a teacher. Maybe he doesn't realize it right now, but in time, he will. He'll see. And he'll notice that, you know, sometimes a coach and a teacher has to take that size 11 and shove it up there and let you know that you are not getting it done, right? But most of all, as a head coach and as a teacher, I need to remember to lead by example, you know, and that's the most important thing. How am I living my life? Because to say something is one thing, but to show it is completely different. And that's what I need to do. I need to make sure I'm showing my leadership, my coaching, my teaching, and all that stuff. There are so many awesome dads out there, and every one of the children who are blessed to have one of those awesome dads, I hope appreciates it, because all dads are not created equal. And I can attest to that. I didn't have a dad to teach me anything, really. I'm 0 for 2 with dads. My biological father wanted nothing to do with me, and I was adopted when I was 4, but treated differently, and never realized like how important. How do I say this? There are so many kids out there with such amazing dads, and I hope that each and every one of you appreciates the fact that you have an amazing dad. You're blessed, because there's also a lot of kids out there who don't have good dads for whatever reason. And I'm one of them, honestly. My biological father wanted nothing to do with me, and I was adopted by somebody when I was 4 who never treated me like an actual son, and I was kind of an emotional punching bag. And so I grew up without having that coach, that teacher that could have made a real impact in my life. And I have often wondered, how would my life have turned out differently if I would have had that influence in my life that was always steady and was always anchored and always remembering the big picture instead of being just emotionally abused and beat up all the time, But I'm not trying to badmouth anybody. It's not what this is about. But my reason in telling you that is that if you're one of those kids, one of those young men, one of those even adults who had a situation similar to that, you're not alone, and it isn't your fault. The abuse or emotional abuse or whatever type of abuse it was, the abuse, whether it be physical or emotional, that abuse wasn't your fault. But as you get older, it's important to realize that the trauma is your responsibility because it is your life. And so awareness is number one. And once you can kind of identify your situation as, that wasn't how it was. That's not love. That wasn't love. It's not how it's supposed to be. You can then start peeling back the onion and say, well, why not? Was it something that I did? And when you're a kid, it's nothing you did. You know what I mean? No kid deserves any type of that stuff. And so you have to then put it into proper perspective and say, well, that person had their own issues, but their issues are not my issues. And so now I can kind of begin to separate them. And then I can say, well, how can I learn from that? What I endured, how can I learn from it? How can I become better from it? And how can I put it behind me? And then, how can I possibly put my experience to use for other people to help them see, to help bring awareness to them, because awareness is the biggest thing. So I've been a father for over a decade now, and I feel like being a father has forced me into learning a lot about life, because I don't want to be a bad father. I want to be a good father. I'm blessed to be a dad. I'm so fortunate to be a dad. I'm so thankful to be a father. Like, what else am I here for? You know? This is, when it's all said and done, that's like the most important thing to me. That will be the most important thing to me. Is what did I do to help put my child in the best possible situation to thrive in life and to believe in himself and to show kindness to others and to put others first and to remember, you know, that Jesus is here for him. If I'm not here at whatever point in his life, he's not alone, you know. And there's just so many things that we teach our children that we don't even always realize. We teach them how to play sports, sure. We teach them how to cook their own food, you know. I teach my kid how to speak on camera, you know. But I also teach my kid how to treat people by how I talk to the attendant at the gas station, or, you know, by what I'm saying about people when they're not right in front of me, you know, by the humility that I show, just by the type of person that I am. And so that's what I'm thinking about on this Father's Day. Is Father's Day is an opportunity to reflect and realize what it's all about. And this to me is what life is all about. Because for me, you know, life is about being a father, and it's really easy to look at things in the micro instead of the macro, right? But when you zoom out and you look at a situation from 30,000 feet up, it's a little bit easier to not sweat the small stuff and, you know, do the things that I need to do to be a good coach, to be a good teacher, and, you know, create a good human being, basically. I don't know what point in my life I became so soft, but this cold water is not something I look forward to getting into. Like, it gives me the heebie-jeebies thinking about how cold it is when you first get in. So, got that going for me. But yeah, I forget where I was here with my rambling dissertation, but I wanted to be more full, man. 15 minutes on this? Jeez. So really, this is just this day to me is just a reminder of the fact that I'm blessed to be a father, and that I need to remain grateful that I am a dad, even on those days when my kid, who's now in middle school, is a total butthead. You know, got to remember what it's like to be that age, to show grace, while at the same time teach those lessons that need to be taught. And sometimes that's, you know, handling it however I need to handle it in that moment, you know? So, thank you, Jesus, for letting me be a dad, and I pray that you'll continue to help me be a better dad every day. Ace Adventure 2026. Ace Adventure Father's Day 2026.